Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're going to help you get ready to totally nail that brick and tile caster interview.
Yeah.
And you've sent us some really cool resources from RoleCatcher, including their career guide, a full interview guide, and even some information about their AI platform.
It's amazing, like having a secret weapon for your job hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So before we jump into the interview questions, let's kind of break down what a brick and tile caster actually does, on a day-to-day basis.
I think a lot of people think it's very straightforward. You're just like mixing ingredients and pouring them into molds.
Right.
But it's much more than that.
Yeah.
It's like understanding the science behind it.
Oh, wow.
They need to know how different materials react.
Okay.
The precise ratios needed for strength and durability. Think about a brick.
Yeah.
It has to be strong.
It can't just crumble.
Exactly. They have to be really, really precise.
Wow.
Because even slight variations can impact the final product.
So it's a blend of science and artistry almost.
It is absolutely. There might be experimenting with pigments to create unique colors, testing different textures, or even working with custom molds to create really unique designs. Think about those beautiful handcrafted tiles you see in historic buildings.
Oh, yeah, like the really intricate ones.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the level of craftsmanship we're talking about.
That's incredible. Okay, so they're working with massive mixers, conveyors, maybe even molds. It's a hands-on technical role.
Yeah, very hands-on.
But what about the career path itself? Where can this job take you?
Well, you usually start at an entry-level position.
Yeah.
Mastering the basics of mixing and casting.
Right.
From there, you can progress to junior caster, senior caster, and even management roles.
Well, what's really interesting is as you gain experience, you can specialize.
Absolutely.
I know the RoleCatcher guide even mentions becoming an expert in operating specific types of mixers.
Oh, yeah.
Like planetary or pan mixers focusing on maintenance or even moving into design.
Yeah, and that's right. Each type of mixer has its own nuances and is suited for different types of brick and tile production.
Oh, wow.
For example, planetary mixers are great for high-intensity mixing, which is crucial for certain types of clay, while pan mixers are better for gentler mixing, often used for more delicate tiles.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Right.
I never realized there was so much depth to the equipment side of things.
Yeah.
You're not just learning a single skill, you're kind of opening up this whole world
Absolutely.
of possibilities within this industry. And speaking of possibilities, how does RoleCatcher's AI kind of help with all of this?
So their AI is really cool. It can actually analyze your CV and suggest specific skills to highlight based on the job description.
Oh, wow.
It's like having a personalized career coach.
So it's doing the work for you.
It is, yeah, helping you showcase your best self.
I love that. Okay, so now that we kind of have a better sense of what the job entails and how RoleCatcher can help, let's dive into those interview questions.
Okay, let's do it.
The first one is, can you explain your experience with brick and tile casting?
Yeah.
Now, this one seems pretty straightforward, but how should someone approach it if they have no direct experience?
Yeah, I think honesty is key, right? You don't want to fabricate experience.
Well, of course not.
But you can highlight transferable skills.
Okay.
Have you worked with other types of machinery?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you have experience with precise measurements or following detailed instructions?
Right. So even if you've never touched a brick mold, you can still kind of showcase your potential by talking about your experience with similar processes or industries.
Exactly. Yep. And RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you identify those transferable skills and tailor your response to the specific job you're applying for.
So it's kind of like fine-tuning it?
It is, yeah.
I love it. Okay, question number 2. How do you ensure the quality of the casted products? This one seems like it's all about demonstrating your meticulousness and attention to detail.
Absolutely. It is. Employers want to know
Yeah.
that you understand the importance of quality control.
Right.
And have a system for ensuring consistency.
Okay.
So mention specific methods you'd use, like visual inspections, checking for uniformity in size and color, and ensuring the mix adheres to the exact specifications.
So it's not enough to just say, I'm a perfectionist.
No.
You need to back it up.
You have to show them.
With concrete actions.
Exactly. And this is where that deep understanding of the materials and processes comes in handy.
Oh, okay.
You can really impress interviewers by talking about how you check for specific issues.
Right.
Like air bubbles in the mix, which could weaken the final product.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Or variations in drying time that could affect the color consistency of the tiles.
Right.
Small things, but they make a big difference.
Yeah. Okay, so you're not just describing like a checklist. You're demonstrating a deep understanding of the potential problems and how to prevent them.
Exactly.
That's impressive. And speaking of RoleCatcher's AI, I remember reading that it can actually provide feedback on your interview answers.
It can. It's so cool. For this question specifically, it might suggest adding a detail about using a hydrometer to measure the moisture content of the mix.
Oh, yeah?
Ensuring it falls within the acceptable range for optimal strength and durability.
So it's giving you really specific advice.
It is, yeah.
Wow. It's like having a brick and tile expert in your pocket.
It is. It's amazing.
Okay, on to question number 3. Can you describe your experience with different types of molds?
Yeah.
This one seems pretty specific. What if you've never actually worked with molds before?
If you have experience, great.
Yeah.
Share that knowledge.
Of course.
But if not, be upfront about your willingness to learn. You
Right.
could say something like, while I haven't worked with molds specifically, I'm a fast learner and I'm eager to master the techniques involved.
So you're showing that you want to learn.
Exactly.
You're eager.
You're enthusiastic.
And maybe even mention that you've already started like researching
Absolutely.
different mold materials and designs, kind of showcasing your initiative.
Exactly. Show them that you're proactive.
Yeah.
You can even use RoleCatcher's career guides to learn about the different type of molds used in the industry.
Oh, wait.
Things like wooden molds for traditional brick-making, steel molds for mass production, or even 3D printed molds for creating custom designs.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's incredible how technology is changing the industry.
Yeah. Okay, so even if you're a newbie, you're demonstrating like a proactive approach to learning.
Absolutely.
Love it. Moving on to a crucial question. How do you ensure the safety of yourself and others while working with casting materials?
This is a big one.
This feels like a make or break question.
Safety is paramount in any industrial setting.
Right.
You absolutely need to show a strong safety mindset.
Yeah.
Familiarize yourself with common protocols like wearing personal protective equipment, PPE,
Yeah.
understanding hazard warnings, and knowing the emergency procedures for spills or accidents.
So it's not just about rattling off safety rules. It's about demonstrating that you genuinely prioritize safety
It is.
and understand the potential risks involved.
Absolutely. For example, you could mention the importance of proper ventilation when working with certain casting materials,
Right.
as the fumes can be harmful if inhaled.
Of course.
Or you could talk about the risks of handling hot molds
Yeah.
and the precautions you'd take to prevent burns.
Okay, so it's about showcasing your knowledge of like specific hazards and how to mitigate them. And I bet RoleCatcher has some great resources for this.
They do. Their career guide has a whole section dedicated to safety procedures.
Right.
And their AI can even suggest specific safety measures to mention based on the job description.
It's like having a safety consultant.
It is, yeah.
On call.
Right there in your pocket.
That's fantastic. Now, for question number 5. Can you describe your experience with industrial mixers and other equipment used in brick and tile casting? This seems like a chance to show off your technical expertise.
Absolutely.
Right.
If you have experience with specific models, mention them.
Okay.
Talk about the maintenance you've performed, any troubleshooting we've done,
Right.
and how you've ensured the equipment runs smoothly and efficiently.
But what if you haven't worked with the exact equipment listed in the job description?
Yeah.
Can you still salvage this question?
You can absolutely focus on transferable skills.
Yeah.
Have you worked with similar machinery? Do you understand the principles of operation and maintenance?
Right.
For example, if the job description mentions a planetary mixer,
Yeah.
you can talk about your experience with other types of mixers.
Okay.
Highlighting the commonalities in terms of loading materials, controlling mixing speeds, and troubleshooting basic mechanical issues.
So it's about drawing parallels and kind of showcasing your ability to adapt your skills
It is.
to new equipment.
Exactly.
And speaking of adaptation, wouldn't RoleCatcher's AI be helpful here in tailoring your response?
Oh, it would, absolutely.
Yeah.
It can analyze the job description
Oh, wow.
and suggest specific details to include based on the employer's requirements.
Okay.
For example, if the job emphasizes preventive maintenance,
Yeah.
the AI might suggest mentioning your experience with regular lubrication cleaning and inspection procedure.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
It's like having a customized study guide for your interview.
it really is. It's amazing.
Okay, let's tackle question number 6. How do you troubleshoot issues that arise during the casting process? Everyone loves a good problem solver.
Everyone does.
Right. What are they really looking for here?
They want to see a structured approach
Okay.
to identifying, analyzing, and resolving problems.
Right.
The best way to do this is to use the STAR method.
Oh, the STAR method, right?
Yeah. Describe the situation, the task you faced, the action you took, and the result you achieved.
So come prepared with a story.
Yeah, have a story ready to go.
That showcases your problem-solving skills in action.
Exactly.
Ideally, it should relate to casting or manufacturing.
Ideally, yes.
Okay.
And the more specific your example, the better.
Right.
For example, you could talk about a time when you noticed inconsistencies
Right.
in the texture of the casted bricks.
Right.
You then investigated the issue,
Uh-huh.
discovered that the mixer blades were worn down,
Wow.
and replaced them, resulting in a perfectly smooth and consistent batch of bricks.
So you're not just showing that you can solve a problem. You're showing that you can think ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're being proactive.
That's a great example. It shows that you're not just reacting to problems.
Yeah.
You're actively looking for ways to improve the process. And I bet RoleCatcher's AI could help you fine-tune your response even further.
Oh, absolutely. It could suggest adding details about the specific tools or techniques you used for troubleshooting, like pressure gauges to check the hydraulic system of the mixer, or temperature sensors to monitor the curing process of the bricks.
Oh, wow.
Little details that really show your expertise.
It's like having a technical consultant right there with you during the interview.
It is. It's incredible.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here,
We have.
but there are still a few more questions to go.
Yeah, we've got more.
Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll tackle those remaining interview questions and uncover even more insights from RoleCatcher
Sounds good.
that can help you land that brick and tile caster job.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're in the middle of prepping you for that brick and tile caster interview, and last time we left off on problem solving.
Yeah, those tricky situations, you know.
Those tricky situations that can come up on the job.
Right, we've talked about showcasing transferable skills, thinking critically, and using the STAR method to illustrate your problem-solving abilities.
Right. With a specific example.
It's all about showing the interviewer that you can handle those, like, unexpected hiccups that inevitably arise.
Right.
In a hands-on role like this.
Exactly. And I have a feeling those problem-solving skills will come in handy for the next question on our list. How do you ensure that the final product meets the specifications and requirements?
Yeah.
This seems to tie back to quality control, but with a focus on meeting those like precise standards.
You hit the nail on the head. It's about proving you're not just detail-oriented,
Right.
but also understand the importance of following instructions.
Yeah.
And meeting those specific requirements for each brick or tile.
So it's not enough to just say, I'll make sure it looks good.
Yeah.
You need to demonstrate a process
You need a system.
for ensuring consistency and adherence to their specifications.
Absolutely. Think about the steps you would take from double-checking measurements and mix ratios to visually inspecting each piece for any imperfections.
Maybe you'd even mention using calipers to verify the dimensions are spot on, or a color chart to ensure the shade is consistent.
Those are great examples.
Yeah.
It's about showing that you're meticulous and have a system in place to guarantee those bricks or tiles are meeting the exact standards set by the client or project.
Precisely. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can be a huge help here.
Right.
It might suggest weaving in details about specific quality control procedures used in the industry, like conducting slump tests to measure the consistency of the concrete mix.
Okay.
Or performing compression tests to ensure the bricks meet the required strength standards.
It's like having an industry insider prepping you for the interview.
It is.
Okay, let's move on to question number 8. Can you discuss your experience with design and customization of casted products? Now, this one might not apply to every candidate, especially if they're more focused on the technical aspects of casting.
That's true. If you do have experience with design software, collaborating with clients on custom projects, or experimenting with different aesthetics, this is your time to shine.
Yeah.
Talk about your creative process, your ability to translate ideas into tangible products, and your passion for pushing the boundaries of what's possible with brick and tile.
But what if someone is more comfortable behind a mixer than a drawing board?
Right.
Should they just skip this question altogether?
Not necessarily. Even if you haven't designed a custom tile from scratch, you can still showcase your appreciation for design and your willingness to collaborate with designers.
So maybe mention that you understand the importance of aesthetics and are eager to contribute to the design process, even if your primary focus is on the technical execution.
Exactly. You could say something like, while my expertise lies in ensuring the technical quality of the casting process, I'm fascinated by the design aspect and always eager to learn from and collaborate with designers to bring their visions to life.
That's a great way to frame it.
Yeah,
It shows that you're a team player and open to expanding your skill set.
absolutely.
And who knows, maybe you'll discover a hidden talent for design along the way.
Yeah, it's always good to be open to new possibilities. And speaking of possibilities, RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your response even further.
Oh, of course.
It might suggest mentioning specific design elements you've incorporated into your work,
Okay.
like using different surface textures to create visual interest or experimenting with color variations to achieve a unique aesthetic.
Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. RoleCatcher's AI is like that friend who always knows exactly what to say to impress.
It is.
All right, on to the final question on our list. Can you describe your experience leading a team of brick and tile casters? This one screams leadership.
It definitely does. If you've held formal leadership roles, this is your chance to highlight your management style communication skills and how you've successfully motivated and guided teams to achieve goals.
Think back to those times when you delegated tasks, effectively resolved conflicts, provided constructive feedback, and celebrated successes as a team.
Yeah.
Those are the stories that will resonate with interviewers.
Yes, and be sure to use specific examples to illustrate your points. For instance, you could talk about a time when you implemented a new training program that improved production efficiency,
Okay.
or how you fostered a collaborative environment that led to innovative solutions to a challenging problem.
Those are great examples, but what if someone hasn't officially managed a team before?
Right.
Can they still demonstrate leadership potential?
Absolutely. Think about those times when you took initiative, stepped up to help a colleague, or mentored someone new to the team. Even without a formal title, you've likely exhibited leadership qualities throughout your career.
So maybe mention that time you noticed a bottleneck in the production process and proactively suggested a solution, or when you volunteered to train a new hire on operating a specific piece of equipment.
Exactly. It's all about showcasing those situations where you went above and beyond, displayed a proactive attitude, and demonstrated those core leadership traits of communication, problem solving, and teamwork.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can help you frame your response in a way that resonates with the specific job requirements. It might suggest highlighting your experience with conflict resolution if the job description emphasizes the importance of teamwork, or mentioning your ability to delegate effectively if the role involves overseeing multiple tasks.
It's like having a personal interview coach right there in your pocket.
Okay, we've officially tackled all 9 interview questions.
We did it.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, there's one more aspect of RoleCatcher that we absolutely need to explore, the RoleCatcher Advantage.
Yes.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll reveal how this platform can help you stand out from the competition and land that dream brick and tile caster job. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've spent the last 2 parts exploring the ins and outs of becoming a brick and tile caster, dissecting those interview questions, and revealing how RoleCatcher can be your secret weapon in the job hunt.
We've covered a lot of ground, but now it's time to give you some extra ammunition to really blow those interviewers away.
Right. We've talked about RoleCatcher's AI-powered features, but they also have some incredible resources that can help you go from prepped to totally confident.
Absolutely.
Right.
One of my favorite sections is the career stages breakdown specifically for brick and tile casters.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a roadmap showing you the typical responsibilities and skills needed at each level, from entry level all the way up to manager.
So you can see exactly where you fit in and what you need to focus on to advance your career.
Exactly. And what's really cool is that each stage includes a profile of a real person working in that role.
Oh, wow.
They talk about their day-to-day experiences, the challenges they face, and the rewards that keep them going. It's like getting a glimpse into the future of your career.
That's so valuable. It's one thing to read a job description, but it's another to hear from someone who's living it every day.
Absolutely. It adds a human touch to the whole process and helps you envision yourself in that role.
And speaking of connecting with others, the RoleCatcher Guide also provides links to industry associations and organizations.
That's right. It's a great way to network with other professionals, attend workshops and conferences, and stay up to date on the latest trends and technologies in the brick and tile world.
So it's not just about getting the job. It's about becoming part of a community and continuing to learn and grow throughout your career.
Absolutely. The brick and tile industry is full of passionate and skilled individuals, and connecting with them can open up so many opportunities.
Okay, so we've got the Career Stages Guide, the real-world profiles, and the links to industry resources. What else does RoleCatcher have up its sleeve?
Well, they have a whole section dedicated to knowledge and learning, which is perfect for those who are always eager to expand their skill set.
That's me. I'm a lifelong learner for
Yeah,
sure.
me too. And RoleCatcher provides tons of tips on how to continuously develop your skills as a brick and tile caster.
Like what?
They suggest attending workshops on specific casting techniques, subscribing to industry publications to stay informed about new materials and equipment, and even shadowing experienced professionals to learn from the best.
It's about showing those potential employers that you're not just interested in a job. You're passionate about the craft and committed to becoming a master of your trade.
Right, and that dedication to continuous learning is something that really sets candidates apart.
Okay, before we wrap up, there's one last gem I have to ask about. I was browsing through RoleCatcher's guide and came across a section called Alternative Titles. What's that all about?
Oh, that's a great resource. It highlights the fact that not every company uses the exact same job title for a brick and tile caster.
Makes sense. So you might be searching for brick and tile caster jobs online and missing out on opportunities that are essentially the same role but with a different title.
Exactly. RoleCatcher lists a bunch of alternative job titles like mixing machine operator, casting technician, or even concrete product specialist.
So it's like expanding your search and making sure you're not limiting your options.
Right, and they even provide links to related career guides for those alternative roles so you can get a sense of the subtle differences in responsibilities and skills.
That's incredibly helpful. It's like they've thought of everything to make your job search as effective as possible.
They really have. RoleCatcher is like your ultimate guide and companion on this career journey.
Okay, this deep dive has been amazing. We've explored the art and science of brick and tile casting, learned about the career path, prepped for those tough interview questions, and uncovered the power of RoleCatcher.
It's been a whirlwind of information, but hopefully you feel empowered and ready to tackle that interview.
I know I do, and remember, you don't have to do this alone. RoleCatcher is there every step of the way, from crafting your CV to practicing your answers and connecting with industry experts.
It's like having a whole team of supporters in your corner.
Okay, before we sign off, any last words of wisdom for our aspiring brick and tile casters out there?
Believe in yourself, showcase your passion, and use the resources at your disposal. The world needs skilled craftspeople, and brick and tile casting is a rewarding and essential part of building our future.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. And remember, good luck with your interviews. You've got this.